The following is a fan-made review show. These are not official reviews, nor commissioned, nor monetized videos. All works featured on this channel are properties of their respective owners. Please support the official releases.
This movie had one simple job to do, and yet they still fucked it up. Hello, I'm the Gorehound. I review the bloodiest things I get my hands on. One moment, please. It's finally come down to this piece of shit. The Higurashi Live Action Movie. My God, it's bad. Very bad. I'm legitimately shocked to see how poorly the story was adapted for the big screen, considering the material they had to work with was already movie material. It had everything from ranging from shock value, gore, and even going into the dark psychological territory. How could they fuck this up? Believe me, they found a way. The movie, believe it or not, was actually something I was kind of excited to see. Judging by the amount of time I put into the series of Higurashi-related material on this channel, this shouldn't come as a surprise. They teased the fact they would be making the movie, and it would be released shortly after Higurashi no Nakakura Kai, so I waited in eager anticipation for the film's release. Unfortunately, it wasn't until the end of Higurashi Rei until I actually saw the film. Why did it take so long? Well, the film was something of a challenge to find, mostly due to the film's title. The film went by its series title, Higurashi no Nakakura ni, in its Japanese theatrical run, so I naturally assumed that they would use the same name they did for the English localization of the series, When They Cry, when it was released here. It seemed logical to think so at the time. Unfortunately, when time came to release the film overseas, for reasons unknown to me, the title was changed to Shrill, Cries of Summer, and as a result, the film went under the radar for many fans of the show, including myself. Needless to say, after all that busy work tracking the film down and finally watching it, it wasn't worth my time. It was a colossal letdown. Why? Let's take a look. First and foremost, the film recycles the plot of the first arc of the first season, which should be an indicator of how much thought went into making this film. The story follows Keiichi, a new kid in town, having only moved in a few months ago. And in that time, he's made some new friends, Rena, Mion, Satoko, and Rika. They open him up to the town of Himezawa, but they're holding something back from him. They try to cover up the fact that some gruesome murders have taken place in that village, thus casting suspicion on his friends, as they're not being completely truthful to him about the town's dark past. His suspicion and paranoia reaches its peak once Tomitake, a freelance photographer he met, suddenly dies along with the local nurse, Mio Takano, during the cotton drifting festival that year. After being questioned by police, he decides to distance himself from his friends as they grow increasingly more psychotic. At this point, his sanity has reached its peak, and it's deduced that everyone's out to kill him, including his friends. So he arms himself with a baseball bat and kills Rena and Mion in an act of supposed self-defense, eventually killing himself by clawing his own throat out with his bare hands. That's pretty much the story of this arc and the movie. And with that said, there are some minor differences here and there regarding its source material, but overall, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really change the overall story it's trying to tell. With that said, let's start off this hateful review off with something I found genuinely distracting. The live-action counterparts. I kid you not, the movie fails to capture the very essence of being a Higurashi movie right from the get-go by giving us boring versions of the characters. The actors look so fucking bored! It's almost like they don't give a shit. None of the characters' personalities shine through like they do in the anime or in the manga. Instead, they act like they're decrepit husks devoid of any charisma. Just watching these people recreate the classic characters is nothing short of migraine-inducing, brought on by the sheer incompetence of the directorial staff. Let's look at Rena, the poster child of Higurashi. This is how she is in the anime.
If you don't mind, we can go someplace that I think is fun. Can we?
Okay, but where? Is it far?
Well, it's a little bit of a walk, but not that bad. Come on, follow me.
Wait!
I haven't been here for some time now. I wonder what's there, I wonder what's there.
You're saying it's been a while since you've been to this place? You mean the garbage dump?
Yeah, But it's not garbage to me. When I look around, all I see are mountains of treasure. Look, a brand new mountain over there. Yippee, yippee! It's a good day!
This is her live-action counterpart.
ここは宝の山。
宝の山？
遠くからみんなゴミを捨てに来てるって。みーちゃんはすごく怒ってる。でもレナにとっては面白いものがいっぱい落ちてる宝の山なの。
I know in an anime, characters' personalities can be over-exaggerated to an extent, but come on! Rena's supposed to be this happy-go-lucky, all-around optimistic girl, which makes her break into the psychotic all the more shocking in the anime. Here she just comes off as awkward, antisocial, and oddly creepy right from the get-go, thus ruining this dynamic and whatever it hopes to accomplish. To whoever casted this girl as Rena, let me say this to them. Her weird hobbies and traits don't make her an endearing character. Her personality speaks volumes. Now, I'm willing to chalk that up to misguided direction. It's a possibility, so why not? But I was going to let that entire thing slide, but I can't. Reason being, the film goes out of its way to make itself as Higurashi as humanly possible. What do I mean by that? Well, they tried to recreate their show's opening exclusively for the movie, accompanied by a song sung by Eiko Shinemiya? Whatever, the same artist who sung the opening songs for Higurashi 3 seasons in a row. This opening is poorly shot and edited beyond belief, and even the song comes off as tacky as it doesn't follow the same musical cues the anime opening had, and it all goes downhill from there. Which brings me to another thing that pissed me off. Almost all the main characters are unrecognizable. I'm dead serious when I said I confused Rena and Mion more times in this film to count. Hell, I could barely even tell Sadako and Rika apart. On that note, I could barely recognize Keiichi, and considering he's the only dude who hangs out with 4 girls in the show and the movie, that's astoundingly inept characterization. None of the main cast even attempts to resemble their counterparts in any way, shape, or form. The side characters do a better job of that, but even they can't get their characterizations right. But at least with them, they have some visual cue to differentiate themselves between characters. As you can tell, I'm mighty pissed off, and I haven't even gotten to the stuff they actually changed to make this film just shy of some of the two most agonizing hours of my life. Where do I even fucking start? I already covered the cast and characters, so I guess what's next is to cover the film's presentation. The film is filled with pointless padding. There are times where the plot grinds to a complete halt and some scenes drag on for way too long. The overuse of scenic shots makes it look like a video for a tourist attraction. Not to say that the show didn't have its own share of scenic shots, but the movie takes that to a whole new level, and it gets annoying fast. On top of its poor presentation, the thing that finally set me off is the film's major flaw. It's boring. Who would want to watch a poorly annotated story when an anime can do the exact same thing and make it more engaging, disturbing, and most of all, entertaining, roughly around the same time it would take to watch this movie? I had to watch this movie in parts because I was falling asleep trying to finish this movie in one sitting. The characters are not engaging. I already know the direction which they're going to take the story. Then the pacing issues were unbearable. Having watched the show and read the manga beforehand, I can imagine watching this movie blind must feel like. It probably won't be any different from my reaction from it. Now when I think about it, why didn't they cover something from the manga? Why did they rehash something from the show? This was the perfect time to fit in some cool side stories which didn't fit in the canonical storyline, but just serve as a cool what-if scenario. Case in point, the Beyond Midnight arc. An arc taking place in a timeline where Rena succeeded in blowing up her school at the end of Season 1, follows Mion while possessing her sister Shion from beyond the grave, saves her and a bunch of tourists after Shion is targeted by rival Yakuza. Or the Demon Exposing arc, which takes place in a timeline where he and Mizawa is completely eradicated and follows one family's struggle to maintain their sanity and live a peaceful life after their daughter accidentally kills her grandmother. Aren't those more compelling stories to tell? Why did they choose to adapt those stories rather than rehashing something that's already perfect in the first place? I have no idea, and that just goes to show how lazy and uninspired the director is to not have done anything new with the license, and essentially just wasting everyone's time and money. All that's left now is to discuss the ending, and boy, they fucked that up too. In the anime, the arc ended with Keiichi, Rena, and Mion dead, and the episode comes to a close as the police discover the bodies. Upon a further investigation, Oishi finds a note written by Keiichi before his death, asking whoever finds his note to find out what really happened to him. The movie, on the other hand, tries to kill two birds with one stone by having a reveal at the end of the movie, which makes little to no sense for newcomers, and has fans of the show questioning this film's existence. If you're wondering what the reveal is, well, it's the marker reveal. What's the marker reveal? Well, it's the reference to the revelation Keiichi has towards the end of the anime that prompts him to recall the events of the first arc and realizes in his state of clarity that his friends only wanted to help him, resulting in the death of his friends. Now, where does the marker fit with all this? Well, it was the supposed syringe Keiichi was projecting in his state of paranoia, prompting him to kill Rena and Mion in what he thought was self-defense. Why am I upset? Because they ruined the twist! The reveal doesn't make itself clear until the end of the series, and here they ruined the reveal! It's ruining the potential twist in the follow-up arc, which just happens to be the sequel to this fucking movie! Fuck me to oblivion, this was a horrible adaptation! The main characters are terribly represented, the excessive padding bogs the film down to what feels like an eternity. Worst of all, they managed to turn a chilling horror story into a snooze fest! Now I'm aware of the film's sequel, and I'll watch it. But if it's as bad as this one, I won't even bother making a video for it. I would just be repeating myself. Calm down now. I'm the Gorehound reviewing the bloodiest things I get my hands on, and join me next time when I review my first requested anime. Until then, I'll see you sick fuckers next time. My God, that was terrible.